Hey there, want to spend a few minutes talking about why exactly we got dairy cows. We had absolutely no experience leading up to dairy cows at all. The closest thing to experience you could say is my great-grandparents, who I never really met, had a dairy farm down in Virginia when we lived in Michigan. Definitely nothing livestock related growing up as children or anything like that. So really we came into this absolutely knowing nothing. You know, we really didn't have any experience at all. So we did a lot of research as best we could, watched a lot of videos, read a lot of articles, and I wanted to share with you all a video of my take on things that I wish I would have known before I got dairy cows. So the first thing is just the routine. The routine is vital to their success and to your success, really. So you've got to figure out a pattern in which you and the animals can get along and in which you can really survive. On a good day, you're spending around 2 hours working with the cows. That is the dairy cows. On a bad day, you can spend even more time. And so having that routine in place is really vital. Not following the routine can throw off their milk production. It can take you extra time. It can cause stress and frustration. The other part is that you should probably practice the routine, or at least, maybe not practice, but at least think through the routine before you get the cows. So make sure you've got time in the morning, time in the afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. Make sure that you have those slots available to actually work with your cows. The other part is really help, sustainable help. And we've had a lot of great friends who have been really interested in our cows, and that's been really cool to see. It's cool to have someone come over and get to meet a cow for the first time, get to scratch them, get to give them treats, you know, even get to milk them sometimes. People love that, and we love having that sort of exploration and creativity that people can come and have. But when I talk about help, I mean that people are able to come and help milk without you, who are able to help take care of some of the chores and those sorts of things. And that can be hard to come by. And for the help that we do have, we are so incredibly thankful. But at times it feels like you just can't get enough help. And so make sure that you have someone who's really bought into this idea with you. Even a partnership would be great. Someone who you exchange milk with, or those sorts of things. You know, think about who you can really rely on to come and help you. The other part is feed. I'm sure I'll get more into this in videos or another video, but what exactly do you feed them? You know, how much protein do they need? How much hay do they need? What do they even eat? All those things are question marks. How their body weight and how much they weigh, and that affects their feed. So doing some good research on feed, and also where you can get it. Is there a feed store close by? Do you have a Tractor Supply? Or do you want to do organic? Do you not want to do organic? How about minerals and supplements? Having a good feed routine is really vital. The other part I was really surprised about is how social they are. My ladies here, I've heard sometimes Jersey cows called pasture dogs, and I think that that's very fitting. So they'll come right up to you. They're very friendly. You can scratch them. You can give them treats. They love their spine rubbed. They love their cheeks scratched. They really can be very social. Now, I've seen videos of people that's not true for, and I honestly feel bad for them, because I love coming up to my cows. I love spending time with them, and I think at least they love spending time with me, and it's a lot of fun. The other part is how much milk they can produce. So the cow that I'm on right now, we'll probably get about 3.5–4 gallons out of her today. So what do you do with 3.5 to 4 gallons a day? Well, that's a good question, and I'm sure I'll talk more about that in other videos. But you can make cheese. Other people enjoy having the milk. It's good fertilizer. Calves can eat it. Other animals can eat it. Since it's not pasteurized, you really have a lot more uses for it than what you would if you bought milk at the store. But still, 3.5 to 4 gallons a day is a lot of milk. And that also doesn't include the second cow, because cows are herd animals. You really need to have at least 2 of them together to make sure that they're not having behavioral issues. It really does make a difference. The other part with milk, and you know, in hindsight this is kind of like a duh, but I didn't know it at the time, is you have to have calves to have milk. So when we got our 2 girls, they were already in milk. They were kind of mid to late milk cycle, and we had to freshen them up, meaning they had to give birth. And that was a whole process. Calving was a lot of fun, but it does add extra complications and those sorts of things. So you have to realize that about, I would say probably every 18 months at least is what I'm planning on, you're gonna have a calf. So there's a cycle of milk. They have to be dried off before they have the calf, and then they start producing a lot of milk, is where we're at right now. But then it starts to slowly decline over time until you get to the point where you just have to have them have another calf, and it takes 9 months, so you got to plan accordingly. Along with that is the dry period. So let's say if you do have people that are enjoying your milk and taking your milk, you need to have them ready for lesser production. So we have what I call a micro farm. It's not a lot of animals on here. I don't have a ton of milk, but I do have people that enjoy the milk. And as a result, I have to make sure that they know, hey, you know what, you need, in a month or two, we're not going to have as much, or we're not going to be able to give you as much, and those sorts of things. Before we had the cows as well, I wish that I had things prepped more. So for example, the stanchion that I'm using right now, so stanchion is like a place where the cows are held for the milking process. You can also use it for things like vet visits. I didn't have this built. I was thinking more of like the hitch them up to the post kind of concept. That doesn't work. I mean, maybe it works for some people, but it didn't work for us. And so make sure you have things like a stanchion, your shed, where you're going to put your hay, your fence line. Make sure you have all that stuff set up before you get them. Because once you get them, it's really hard to get the other stuff done because you're spending so much time with the cows. The other thing is milk machines. Now I know I'm going to talk more about milk machines. As you can see, I'm hand milking. It works great for these videos. But I do also have a milk machine. So we start off hand milking and then we got a milk machine. There's pros and cons to both. And I'm going to get into more of that and also specifics on the milk machine that we got, because I didn't find a ton of great videos out there that really walk through the details of it. One of the other things is how much manure they make. Now I was warned about this, and it's true. They poop a lot. I have about a wheelbarrow full every single day of manure, and that's just from 2 cows. I can't just leave it in the pasture. You might be able to if you've got enough of your grass. I can't do that because I don't have enough grass. And so what I end up doing is I end up having a manure pile, and it's big, it's huge. It turns into great compost, but it's a lot of poop you have to deal with. The other part is not all teats are the same, especially when you're hand milking and using the machine. So it's probably not the easiest to tell right this moment, but Selah here, she has a variety of, 2 different types of teats. She has ones that are small, and then she has ones that are bigger. You can't, especially the mini cows, you're not going to find the full hand teats. You'll see some people milking, they've got like their whole hand on it. I can't do that. I'm doing 2 fingers at a time. And if you're out of practice, this really can start to cramp your hands. Udders are different, teats are different. It really is very unique how each cow is designed and each cow is made. And so make sure that you think about that, especially if you're going to hand milk. Make sure that the teats are going to work for whatever it is that you're doing. And then the last thing, and this is something, our story began because of diet and needing to change what we were eating because of things like artificial dyes. I'm sure we'll talk more about that later. But just the health benefits of having dairy cows is pretty astounding, and it's been really cool because just part of dairy cows is diet and exercise. You get great, rich, nutritious milk, but you also have to exercise. There's no way around it. And so you really get to have a great, healthy lifestyle when you have dairy cows. So anyway, just wanted to share with you some of the things that I wish I had known. And I hope that that's helpful for you if you're exploring potentially getting a milk cow as well.